Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to be here and introduce our special guest. Today we're going to talk about something that we don't really talk about very often, and we should, is how to be kind to ourselves. You know, that is where everything starts and emanates from. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
So I'm thrilled to introduce Buffy. So she's my creative mom friend who's been working on her own YouTube channel, and you can find her on Instagram. We'll put the details below. But she's all about helping moms feel better in their own skin and learning to love themselves and be their best self.
Yeah, thanks Bridget. Thanks Vishali for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Talk about what I have been practicing for a while now is something called intuitive eating, and it's just a way to trust and love your body and respect your body in a different way so that you are really the most healthy version of yourself, I think. I personally have always struggled with kind of disordered eating or wanting to be thinner than I was and like looking around, comparing myself to others. I've always struggled with that. And I have two kids and my daughter is 6. And this past year, I started to notice that she was noticing how I was controlling my food and measuring food and really more concerned about like how much I was putting in my body down to the number. She just was like, well, why are you having that shake again? You know, like, and I didn't want to explain to her like, oh, you probably shouldn't even have this shake. I don't even know what's in it. It's this shake that I bought because I wanted to lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would prepare like a nice meal for them and then I would be eating something different.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, like, how can I expect my kids to be healthy eaters and try a variety of food and just like finish when they're full and eat when they're hungry when I was not doing that?
As long as I can remember, I have been militant with myself, almost really mean to myself about what I eat, when I eat, and you know, and I'm sure my kids notice this, and it never really occurred to me that I need to model a little bit better of an example so they don't grow up being so hard on themselves.
Yeah.
The way I am, you know, and it's so much of a, I never even thought about it till right this moment.
Yeah. It's scary, but like I did have an eating disorder in high school.
What was it?
Was anorexic.
Oh.
And I feel like you can't ever predict and think, if I do this, then my kid will have it, right? If I do this, then my kid won't. But I think to give them the best chance, I just wish I always saw growing up someone who wasn't counting calories and who was just more easygoing, not so uptight with food.
Oh dear.
No,
I've done a lot of
But
damage
so,
then.
Buffy, it sounds really nice, like this intuitive eating. Like,
right.
I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing.
Perfect.
But I can't imagine how I would be able to put that into place.
It does sound really crazy. It's really simple though. You eat when you're hungry and you finish when you're full. And you listen to your body, what your body needs, what your body wants. And at first, one of the biggest fears with intuitive eating is that I'm gonna just go down this rabbit hole and keep eating till I like roll away down the street, you know?
Lose control.
Yeah, lose
That's
control.
my biggest fear is I'll lose control. And I live by the number on the scale, and that cannot be healthy.
It doesn't feel, for me, it just stopped feeling good. It started to feel like it was taking up more time than I wanted to devote to something in my life. It's been 9 months.
And I have to ask, does the scale look different, or do you not check anymore?
I really try not to check. I checked randomly a week ago because I felt like my mom said, you look like you lost weight. I mean, there you go. There's like a mom who's always like concerned about weight, right?
Yeah. The voice in your head is
right.
often your mom's voice.
Yeah.
And I feel like I gained about 8 pounds, but I think I probably had gained more in the summer and then I came down. So now I feel like my body truly is at this place where I literally don't think about food anymore. I just go through the day, I wake up, I eat what I want, I drink what I want. I eat ice cream. I don't think about it. I eat what I want.
Wow.
It is amazing.
You know, that just feels like the bars would be lifted off of me. I have to say, I don't. I don't eat ice cream.
I was like that.
And I love ice cream. Coffee lovers, Cold Stone, like, I love it. And I live in deprivation. So that's pretty awful as I think about that.
I feel like for some people, like they aren't as affected by it. But long term, I think to keep a diet up, and diet means like healthy eating or like restricting
Yeah.
or anything that makes you like is controlling of your food in that sense. I think you do have to really focus on it for long term. And
Yeah.
some people can't even do that, and some people can. But you have to ask yourself, like, is that where I want to put my focus?
Okay, so tell me, what does a day look like eating intuitively?
So a day looks like waking up, whatever you're interested in or craving for breakfast, you eat. Like this morning, for example, I had toast with cinnamon and sugar on it and some coffee. And then for lunch, I love salads, so I usually make a salad, but I don't measure the amount of salad dressing I'm putting on my salad. I don't measure the protein or...
Okay, see, that's giving me shortness of breath. Because I, as a rule, don't eat salad dressing because I can't control what's in there. I don't know how much fat, how much sugar, and I'm just realizing it's a really awful way to live. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that's what I really got sick of, eating that way.
So I think Vishali and I are at two opposite ends of the spectrum. So she's controlling her food, and for me, I feel like I just overdo it around foods that are bad or really yummy. So like I don't want one piece of toast, I want 10 pieces of toast.
Yeah. It sounds like what you're having or what you're experiencing is the Last Supper effect, where you just eat and eat and eat because you don't know when you're going to be able to eat that fun food again.
That's it. Yeah.
But when you switch to intuitive eating, your brain knows that you could have that toast for lunch if you wanted.
Oh.
So it doesn't feel like it needs to have 10 pieces because it knows I'm going to be fed later down the day.
And that control just comes. It just comes.
It comes eventually. Like sometimes it happened for me probably like 4 months into trying.
Oh, so you have to be patient with
You
this.
do have to be patient.
Yeah. Okay, good
Yeah.
to know. So do you feel happier?
I feel 10 times happier and really happy with how I'm modeling that for my kids.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
the key.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
key.
so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went on this restrictive diet, I guess, of low carb, which works really well for me. And actually, then I don't feel hungry. And at the time when I do it, it feels really freeing because I'm not thinking about like cupcakes or brownies or whatever all the time because I'm
Yeah.
so satiated. But it does look weird to my kids. Like, oh, you just have a bar and then I'll have a shake.
Yeah.
At the time it tastes good, but I'm like, yeah, would I want them to eat like that? No,
No.
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have to also think too, like long term. Like as I did some research on diets, it seems like most diets have a honeymoon phase of like 6 months to even a year,
Okay.
where you can really keep it up and you can teach yourself not to have those foods. But you're right, like there's a lot of focus that has to be put in on it, and you do miss these foods that you just liked,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, okay, so then I have friends who have, lost 40 to 50 pounds on going on a keto diet and drastically changing the way that they eat, and they feel better. So are there exceptions to that?
I know have heard that too. I personally think that keto isn't something that someone's going to be able to keep up for like 5 years. Maybe they can, and maybe they put all of their focus into it, but that is a life choice.
Yeah.
And I also think that some people aren't at their natural set weight, and they probably they maybe need to, figure out some way to get there. I think intuitive eating can help you get there in a non-restrictive way. It might take a little longer, and you might not see like, oh, week 1, I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient.
You have to be patient, and you have to trust your body. There's no easy answer.
Yeah.
I think this takes a big leap of faith, but it feels good to trust your body.
And how does exercise fit into this?
I still think exercise is really important, and in the intuitive eating book, so there is a book that was written by this registered dietitian, Evelyn Tribole, and we can list it in the show notes, but
Sure.
there are 10 principles of intuitive eating,
Oh, okay.
and one of them is exercise. So movement, and for the mental, for the physical, for the strength, it's an important part of just living well.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you want to ask her the 3 calls to action?
Oh, sure. Well, we've gone long. Although I feel like, here,
We're already
Buffy, it's been totally awesome having you here. I love it. So with all of our guests, we asked for 3 calls to action. So do you have 3 recommendations for our viewers?
Sure. The first one, I guess, is an easy one for me. Don't diet. Diets don't work. It's been proven. So stop feeling like you have to diet and just don't do it. The second one would be restriction, both mental and physical, is a way to just stay trapped in a control relationship with food and your body, and not a trusting relationship with food in your body. And I think that you should ultimately get to that trusting place with food in your body. Okay, and number 3 is that really think about the stigma that you and fear that you have associated with weight and different sized bodies, because I feel like we all have a little kid in us that was running around at a weight that you didn't even think about, but was probably the right weight for your body. And that's probably your natural set point today and what your body should look like. So if you can really embrace that and live intuitively and trust your body, I think you'll be happier.
You just opened my eyes today, because I really do feel like I live in this box when it comes to eating. And there's some things that I've stopped saying, like, does this make me look fat? I used to say that to my older daughter all the time when she was little, not even thinking about how that would impact her. But that I've stopped doing, but I still live in this very controlled environment when it comes to food. And you know what? It's not fun. It's not fun at all.
It's not fun.
To be totally honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not joyful as much as I should be, like goofy with my kids, you know, just like silly about my body, because I feel like awkward or like I don't even like deserve to take up the space that I'm taking up, which is so sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
And I don't want my daughters or my sons thinking that.
No. Well, I think that there is hope, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation today.
This is so important.
Yeah.
Important as women. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you. This was
Thanks
so
very
eye-opening for me. Now let's see if I actually put it to practice and try to give up a little bit of control, because I guess I'm a control freak when it comes to my food. Everybody who knows me knows. It's not good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
So check the description so you can figure out where to find Buffy, because I recommend following her and watching her videos, because you're going to learn a ton.
Thank you so much for being part of our video today. We're so excited to have you. Next video, it's going to be me and Bridget talking about some more real stuff. And like I said, we're always going to be real. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.